This breakdown is powered by Conductor OSS at conductress.com. It works with the coding agents you already use, runs fully local, and helps you orchestrate real agent workflows without shipping everything to the cloud. Anthropic just shipped one of the most practical AI workflow upgrades I have seen in a while. Claude for Excel and Claude for PowerPoint now sync together, which sounds small until you realize what it kills: the dead zone between analysis and presentation. Normally you crunch numbers in Excel, then rebuild the story manually in PowerPoint, and half the context gets lost. In this demo, Claude analyzes an after-hours stock jump, updates the model, then turns that work into deck-ready slides without being reprompted from scratch. If this actually holds up in real workflows, it is not a flashy AI toy. It is a real time saver for analysts, PMs, consultants, and finance teams. Here is the pain point. Most office knowledge work is not just one app. The thinking happens across spreadsheets, decks, docs, tabs, call notes, and internal tools. But AI assistants usually reset the moment you switch surfaces. So users do the dumb relay race themselves. Copy the chart, paste the KPI, re-explain the assumptions, rebuild the narrative, recheck whether the slide still matches the model. Anthropic's pitch here is simple. Keep the conversation state alive while Claude moves between Excel and PowerPoint. That means less duplicate prompting, less manual translation, and a better chance that the numbers on the slide actually come from the live workbook. Watch the flow in the post. It opens with a clean setup. A stock pops 8% after hours, and the analyst needs to explain why and make a recommendation. Then Claude kicks off from a finance workflow inside CowWork. The first prompt asks what drove Acme's jump. Claude starts a multi-step research plan, reading supplier documents, cross-referencing raw material cost data, building a substitution scenario, and comparing P&L impact across cases. Next, the user pushes back, basically saying, "Okay, but what is really driving the move, and how does that compare to my model?" That is the key transition. Claude stops giving generic summary language and goes into the actual Excel workbook. Now you see the spreadsheet, the assumptions sheet, the revenue lines, the margin drivers, and the side panel where Claude can read the model directly. It identifies that revenue only moved modestly across scenarios, while the bigger story is the cost structure. Then the handoff happens. The video literally says, "Now for PowerPoint." Claude inspects an existing slide for style reference, picks up the template, and builds a summary slide inside the deck. The ending frame lands on a polished slide with headline numbers for Q4 revenue, adjusted EPS, and free cash flow. That is the whole promise in one clip. Analyze in Excel, preserve context, present in PowerPoint. Officially, Anthropic says the Excel and PowerPoint add-ins can now share the full context of your conversation across open files. You turn on a setting called Let Claude Work Across Files, activate both add-ins, and Claude coordinates behind the scenes. It can read from one app and make changes in the other without you re-explaining the task. Anthropic also tied this into skills. So if you already have workflow-specific skills enabled, Claude can apply the right one in the right app as it moves. And both add-ins now support the same enterprise LLM gateway pattern used by Claude Code, which matters a lot for companies routing through Bedrock, Vertex, or Azure. The deeper story is that this is not just chat pasted into Office. Claude for Excel can read complex models, cite cells, update assumptions, edit pivot tables, apply conditional formatting, and work with finance connectors like FactSet, PitchBook, Moody's, S&P, and more when you sign in directly with a Claude account. Claude for PowerPoint can read the slide master, follow the deck's layouts, generate full presentations, edit existing slides, and create native charts and diagrams instead of dumping in static screenshots. Put together, that means the value is not just cross-app memory, it is cross-app execution. One assistant can move from model reading to deck building in a single flow. Now, does this replace analysts? No. The biggest risk is still trust. Anthropic explicitly warns about prompt injection in spreadsheets and deck files from untrusted sources, and chat history still is not saved between sessions in these add-ins. Cross-app work also depends on both files being open, and Enterprise Gateway mode still misses some features like connectors, skills, memory, and cross-app working. So this is not a perfect autonomous Office agent yet, but strategically, it is a big step. The real productivity layer is not one brilliant answer in one app. It is carrying intent across tools while preserving context. That is where Office AI becomes actually useful instead of feeling like a demo. And if you like this kind of local-first orchestration, check out Conductor OSS at conductress.com. It works with all coding agents in your current setup, runs fully local, and gives you a clean way to coordinate bigger multi-agent workflows. If this breakdown helped, subscribe, hit the bell, and comment with the workflow you want Claude to automate next.